Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 22 here in the Systematic Factory. We are on Hazardato, our second colony, and we are just doing some explorations. I have dug to the sides on both sides of the map, and I have started a ladder up, and I'm going across, just trying to expose as much of the map as we can so we can see everything. We have discovered a couple of interesting things for us. If we look down here, we have a cool salt slush geyser. Means we have a pretty decent water source on this side of the solar system. I've checked a bunch of other geysers and stuff. Nothing too interesting that we're going to make use of as of yet. But I've been trying to just look around and see what we have so we can come up with a plan on what we're going to do here on this colony. The other thing we did while we were doing that, if we hop over to Dampina for a minute, I did some changes to our oxygen here, where I had put in another set of pumps so that we have our 3 lines going to our base moved over, and then this pump here, it still has the leftover lines, but basically it's just now these pumps are just pumping oxygen out, and that oxygen, if we follow it down, is going all the way down here, and it is going into this supply teleporter input, which is connected, of course, to the supply teleporter output on this side. And so we're pumping oxygen out into this base. We have plenty of oxygen here, so it's not using any, but now we have an oxygen supply here, so we don't need to worry about producing oxygen on Hazardato as of yet. We probably will set up our own production for it once we get water sorted out, things like that. But I was thinking that the main thing I'd like to do over here is to set up some kind of farming colony. And there's a few things here that we could do. And we could always ship things back and do it on the other side as well. But I think it'd be kind of neat to have a nosh sprout farm here. Nosh sprouts use dirt and ethanol. And they produce nosh bean. And then nosh bean is used... Let's see, can we go to it from here? No. Nosh bean is used to make some foods, but it's also used in making brackine. So I thought we would go through all the steps we need to make it so we have a sustainable brackine supply over here, because brackine can be used for a couple of different things when we get to the other side of our colony. It can be used to, let's see if it shows it in here. It does not, but we can use it in some of our critter buildings to make our critters happier, and we can actually put it into our water coolers in our great halls in order to improve the morale of our duplicants as well. So getting some of that going and will also solve the food problems on this colony, which of course we could solve by just shipping food over, but I think it'd be more fun to set up a sustainable system. But right now, I only have 33,000 calories over here, but we only have 2 duplicants, and so they will last quite a while with that. But what we need to focus on, I think, is getting things just kind of cleaned up in this area and dug out so that we can come up with a place to put everything, because I have not quite yet cleared the whole map out. I don't know what's there. I know that there's a radioactive biome down here, which we're definitely going to set up to get the beta hives producing uranium for, so we can do a reactor. And in the end, I think that's what we're going to do to power this base, because I really want to get into that. There's some achievements for it as well. I also marked off sulfur because we can grow spindly grub fruit with sulfur, or we can use it to feed to our sweetles to get sucrose. So a lot of different things we could do over here. So we're just checking things out. The reason I was thinking with sulfur is that we could make it kind of a sustainable system, because we do have sulfur renewable on the main colony because we have a sulfur geyser. So if we set up a system to cool that down and then ship the sulfur over to this side, we could definitely do that. Or we could bring sweetles and grub fruit back to the main colony and set it up over there. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to work everything out. Like I said, first steps first is just to get this place kind of cleaned up and moved out. I think I may bring another colonist over here, so let's check how the teleporter is. This is the incoming side. This one says... Oh, is it ready to send somebody over? I think it is. So let's take a look here. If we look at our skills, I'd like to send another digger across. So who can we spare to go to the other side? I think Pickle Rick would be a good one. His morale needs not super high. He just has exosuit training. We could give him the digging as we need it over there, but he could kind of go over and do the things we need. He's pretty fast because of his athletics being so high, so he'd be a good addition. So let's send him across to the other colony. We can only send him every so often because once we send a duplicate through, we have to wait a few cycles before we can send another one through the teleporter, and we don't have space travel set up yet. So let's send him across, and then we have 3 duplicates on the Hazardato side. As a matter of fact, real quick before we send him, let's just set up the construction for another bed. And then we're definitely going to need to get another bathroom set, or a proper bathroom set up. But for now, I just want to have it set up so that when he comes across, he'll be alright. And then we can wait for him to come down here. And then we can teleport him. Bye, Pickle Rick. And here we go. So let's get him out of his suit, because he's not going to need it on this side of the system. And there we go. So if we make this... Yeah, good. He's going to go and make his bed right away, which is good. So he'll have somewhere to sleep. And they're going to build him a mess table so that there's somewhere for him to eat. So now we have 3 colonists over here. If you notice, there's a bunch of natural gas building up down here that we're going to have to handle soon. That's because our cryo tank Duke is still letting out a little natural gas everywhere he goes. So we'll have to deal with that. But I'm going to continue working on just digging around here, getting everything explored out so I can come up with a plan of where I want to build things. And we'll probably start just demolishing this base en masse and collecting all the resources together so that we can build the things we want to build. Forgot to check off that we got this achievement. First teleport a call, teleport a duplicate, and defrost a friend. We did that in the last episode, but the achievement was there. So I just wanted to show you that we got it. I have dug out a lot more. We gotten up to this corner so I can kind of see what's up here mostly. And we are digging down here. I'm starting to kind of make a water pit. I want to collect all this water together in one place. The big problem we're dealing with right now is that our stress is flying up. And that's because our duplicates over here have really high skill demands, but not a lot of morale yet. And in the long term, I need to build up their bases so that they have the morale to support skills. But for the short time, they have a lot of skills that they don't need because right now they're not running exosuits and things like that. So I'm putting down some infrastructure here just with a quick manual generator to run some power into a skill scrubber so I can scrub their skills out. That way they can go back to just being, you know, the normal happy duplicates that we love, and we can just give them the skills that we need. They're almost done getting that set up, and then I'll start that process. But I kind of came up with a plan on what I'm going to do over here. The first thing I want to work on is getting an arbor tree system set up that provides lumber and feeds pips. And so I'm kind of figuring out where I want to put everything. And so as far as areas go, over here in this entire section down to like here, there is plenty of space. And I think that that is where I'm going to build up our duplicates bases. Because on this side, I think I'm going to do separate bases for each of them and work that out. And so that'll give us plenty of space to work on that over here. And then on this side, there are some buildings that are put in here. And I do really like how they put in the buildings with different things. So you can see how, you know, just like remnants of a people that used to live here or something. I thought that's really cool. I just wanted to comment on it. But all of this can be pulled out This can be pulled out, this can be pulled out. There's nothing over here that is permanent. There's no geysers in the way. There's nothing that I can't demolish. And so I think I'm going to come down here, come across, and we're going to just demolish all of this out, and we're going to turn this into a pit slash arbor tree slash power plant for this colony. And so that's going to be our focus, to get that up and running, and also to get this geyser open so that we can start producing some fresh water for this colony as well. And so once we do that, we'll have food and we'll have water set up. The water we can eventually set up to produce oxygen independently of the other colony. And this colony will become much more self-sustainable. So that's what we're going to focus on. It's going to take us a little while. I got to get, like I said, I got to get this stress dealt with first. So Morty is the one we need to deal with. So I'm going to put Morty in here a while. Where are you, Morty? Oh, you're all the way at the top. I was thinking the people that I could assign would be at the bottom. I don't know why I thought that. But so Morty will come down here. The skill scrubber will remove all of his skills. And once he's done, we'll work on some other ones. But we're going to continue on with our progress of getting this area dug out and this area here as well. We've gotten the water tank dug out here. It's slow going because I don't have atmosuits for my dupes, so they get a little bit done and then they have to go up to get oxygen and things like that. Soon we'll get that fixed, but this pit will hold quite a bit of water, so I'm starting to dig out to collect water from different sources into it so that we can get those collected together before we start doing too much around everywhere. I did kind of mark off an area that I want to dig out across up here and down. I want to dig all the way down to see what's down here as well so that we can get an idea what we're doing. This area here is just some gases and some automation stuff. Nothing too crazy. We'll end up removing all of it. I also marked off how much lumber I have because we're starting to get a ton of that because we have a lot of wild plants. So the plan when we get to that is I'm going to build a stable for the pips, and it's going to have some natural tiles in the floor, and they will plant trees for me. That's the hope. And I think that if I remember the math correctly, I'll need 3 full trees to support a full stable that has 8 pips in it. And that's what we're going to shoot for, and then we'll go from there and see if we want to increase that or make some changes to it. Before I go any farther digging this out, I'm going to have them dig that last one and remove this tile so this water can all flow down out of here. This is one of those structures I like. They put the pitcher pump in the liquid pump, and it's like the civilization that lived here before. This is where they had their water tank. Just think that stuff is kind of cool. It makes it for a fun playthrough when you find stuff like that. This one over here, they're also digging up. They're going to let this one out. It'll flow down across this way and into our tank. And so we're just trying to use gravity to handle as much of the cleanup as we can so that we don't have to do it ourselves. So I'm going to keep working on that. We'll get all of it together, and hopefully we'll get all of this dug out so that we have some nice empty space here to start building in. Gotten a few more things set up here. I made a liquid lock up here. I just use water because it's all I have at the moment. But basically it's just so that we have a way to keep the gas from going out here. And I want to get building some a ladder up so I can start building some protection because I had some damage here from meteorites. So I want to get, what I need to get is a setup with an atmosuit checkpoint and a dock so that we can run some oxygen over to it and some power. So 2 things we need to get with that. One is we need to get some steel. Or any refined metal would do, but steel is what I can easily get from the other colony, so I've set that up to come across. I think I need to increase the priority here so that they'll actually bring it, because otherwise they're just going to keep the steel stored in the steel storage here, because this priority is 7. So When I make this one 8, that means they're going to grab steel out of storage and send it over to us. And I also sent some plastic. That way we can work on some stuff with that. And we'll just keep an eye to make sure we don't send too much over, but that will drop some off here. This is where our drop-off point is. So we'll just keep an eye on that as we go. The other thing I'm working on building is this section here. And I'm just cleaning it out for now, but I have some arbor acorns in the corner here that I delivered using this storage bin. And for now, I'm just sweeping everything and then dropping it off here to get it out of that room. But the pips, since they're dropped off in here, we'll pick up the seeds and we'll plant them in the tiles that I left open for the natural tiles. And so in the end, we should end up with 7 trees in here. And I'm going to remove this, and we're going to put a grooming station at the end so that we can tame the pips. And then the pips will eat the branches of the arbor trees, and that will be their food source, and this will be sustainable. And I should end up with a surplus of lumber. So the next thing I need to build after that is a system to turn the lumber into power. And so what that requires is, first under refinement, we have, I think it's under refinement. Yes, an ethanol distiller. So an ethanol distiller, the purpose of it is to refine lumber into ethanol. So it takes a kilogram of lumber, a little bit of power, and then it outputs ethanol. 500 grams a second. We also get polluted dirt, we get carbon dioxide, and we get some heat. The ethanol can then be burned in a petroleum generator, because that can use either petroleum or ethanol. And so the petroleum generator will also give us some polluted water and some carbon dioxide as byproducts. So those are things we'll have to deal with. But that will allow us to have some power. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to do expand this farm out. So I'm going to continue to dig down here. I think we're going to put the power down a little lower, maybe down at the bottom here. But what I'm going to work on for now, while these trees are growing, is expanding down and probably making a spot for at least a second pit farm up here at the top. I'm not sure how much it's going to produce, but I think 2 of them at least is what I want to have running. And so that's what we're going to work on next. We'll put a ladder down here and then add another pit farm right below this one. If we don't have the natural tiles lined up, I think we will. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one, this one, this one, this one. Oh, there's going to be one missing there. This one and this one. Well, we can make a natural tile. When we get to that, I will show you how that works. I've thrown together a little power system here that is not going to stay, but what I need from it is some heat. This area is super cold, and I'm going to need to make some changes around here to get things fixed up so that it is a little less cold, but I haven't quite gotten that far yet. I need to turn off this production, or this drop off, because now we have enough over here. The body temperature for these arbor trees is super low in this area. Like, it's too low for us to grow anything because it's -12. And so I have the trees planted, but they're not going to grow, so the pips aren't going to have anything to eat. So I need to get that fixed. Part of the problem is that I don't have this built very well. I should have insulated tiles here so we don't lose heat to space, things like that. And so that I can fix. But the main thing is this is just a really cold area, so I need to pull some heat out. So I have the polluted water coming out here that's getting warmer. I think I'm going to use this system to produce that, and then run some piping through here and warm up the area. The other thing is we're pumping out a lot of carbon dioxide in this area, so I need to build in system to handle that. And I think that the best way to do that, since I have a ton of these oxyferns all over the place, is to set up somewhere where the carbon dioxide can settle down and then the oxyferns can handle it. We'll do that in a little while. We'll have space for that carbon dioxide to work its way down. But for now, that carbon dioxide is going to start warming the area up as well, even though that's not the best gas to do it. We'll have to keep an eye to make sure it's not building up into this area where people are. But so I'm going to work on putting in some insulated tiles up here and then work on building our atmosuit system here. I did run a pipe over from here. Let me disconnect this. So basically, once we are pressurized with oxygen here, the oxygen will go up this way, and it will come to here. And so then I can put in an atmosuit checkpoint. I'm just going to put it... Let's put it, like, right there. And then we'll put in a couple of docks. And we can then put a ladder out in front of it that goes all the way up. And our goal is to get up here so I can start building a row of bunker doors so that we can seal off the top of the base so that we don't have asteroids coming down and nailing us. But we need to get power to this as well, which is what this temporary power system is for, other than just getting pure heat out of it. I just want to run a power line that comes through here and up to these. And then the last thing we would need is ventilation to here. Disconnect it from here for now. I'm just going to have a couple there. And then I want to take this, actually do this with insulated tiles now. And I'm just going to put that out all the way. And then we're going to replace all of these tiles with insulated tiles as well. Okay, so we're going to let all that get built up. That'll allow our duplicants to get in here and go out into space to do some work out here. And it will allow us to just keep building up some heat in this area. So hopefully we can get these arbor trees growing, because I do not want our pips to starve to death. That one's going to die soon. This one is reproducing at the moment. But once they run out of food, it's going to be a problem. We do have a lot of pip eggs over on Dampina, I think, still, because of all the pips that are in here. So I could grab some of those and ship them across, but I'd rather do what we can to try to get these ones living so that we don't have a problem with it. So the other thing I'm going to build is I'm going to put a pump in here, and I'm just going to take this from here and I'm going to run it up to here, and then we'll take a radiant pipe. I'm going to have to use steel because I don't have any other refined metal at the moment. And I'm going to run it across to here. And let's see, where can we put the polluted water? I don't want to get rid of it yet because I might want to use the polluted water. I think what I can do, let's do some reservoirs and put it into the reservoirs. Since we're already pumping it up, we'll just put it into a few reservoirs so that we can move it where we need to later on, once we have somewhere to go with it. And we will just take a insulated pipe and bring it down and drop it off into here. And then I'm going to put some pipes across the bottom for later. Okay, we're going to let all that get built. This should hopefully bring the heat up from this polluted water and transfer it into those crops so that we can warm that area up pretty quickly. Done a few more things here at our base. I got our atmosuit system set up, so oxygen's flowing into it, so our duplicants can put on an atmosuit before they head out into the vacuum here of space. I also set up a exosuit forge to repair worn atmosuits, and I brought over some thimbleweed seeds. Problem is they are also a little too cold to be running, but they're taking the polluted water that we're getting from our power plant, and eventually, once we get the temperature here under control, they will grow so that we can have thimble reed to repair the atmosuits. I'm getting the insulated tiles put in. They're almost done. The real issue is just this one petroleum generator running, producing a ton of carbon dioxide. It's already worked its way all the way over here to our water tank, and we have some random oxyferns around the base that are helping to keep it slightly at bay. But if we just let it go like this, it's just going to overrun the whole place. So we're going to have to work on getting things in a more organized fashion, but that's okay. We know what we need to do. We can get a power plant set up that's proper, that contains the carbon dioxide instead of letting it go out. But for now, I thought the carbon dioxide would help with the heating problem, but it really doesn't. It's just adding extra gas with extra pressures and more problems to deal with. So I'm probably going to remove this and put it somewhere where I can contain it. I was going to try to build a system down here with some oxyferns that were planted to try to clean it up, but I think we're going to need a ton of them to handle it. So we'll figure that out in a little while, but I think for now we're going to call it an episode today. We got a lot done. We made some progress. We're really close to having these arbor trees going. Some of them are at 12 degrees. This one's at 12. We just need more heat in the system. So I'm going to think about how I want to handle that. And we will work on that in the next episode. Hope you enjoyed watching this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.